I wanted to film a couple of videos this week, one that's going to be on just about me, what got me interested in sustainability and caring for the environment, and then a second video which is going to be about sustainability and the environment and how it intersects with another part of my life that is super important to me, which is my Christianity. So my environmental and sustainability journey really started all the way back in 2017. This was a super monumental moment in my life because it was the first mission trip that I ever went on, and it was to Alaska, which I don't know if you guys have ever been to Alaska, but it is absolutely just the most untouched, pristine environment and ecosystem that you could ever imagine. So these are some pictures from the trip that I went on. We worked with a local church called Anchorage First Baptist and helped plan a couple activities to get the community involved and wanting to come to church. And we also got a couple of days just to explore and hike and just see all of the natural beauty that God created there. This absolutely was the start of my journey to care about the environment and to care about sustainability and my impact on the environment. And it was really when I decided that stewardship over the environment was a responsibility that God has given to us, and that is something that we should not abuse as humans. And I really think the main reason for this is because just the untouched beauty of Alaska, the thought of someone ever cutting down a forest there or littering on the side of the road or destroying it, by digging for oil, things like that, just really, really broke my heart and just made me super upset to think about. So I would definitely say that this was the start of my journey towards becoming a sustainable and passionate person about the environment. So from there, I definitely became a lot more interested in the political aspects of environmental protection, and I started researching a lot about what our government was doing in local areas of the environment, but also worldwide, just to see what kind of impact that the United States as a whole was having on the environment. And this is probably no surprise to you guys who know a little bit about the environment, and especially in the political arena, but the United States really has failed in about every aspect of environmental protection. And that was really discouraging, honestly, to research some of the stuff that was going on. Not only do I think that they failed worldwide, just in the protections globally, such as carbon dioxide emissions and stuff like that, but I really do feel like they failed on a local scale in protecting the people with clean water and clean air and just helping the United States people as a whole. And the more that I had done research into this and learned about it at my college that I go to, I've realized that this has disproportionately affected communities of color, but also just people with lower socioeconomic status in the country. So as racial tensions and things like this have been amplified over the past year and a half or so, really over the last 10 years, I really think it's an important issue to talk about, and it's a little disappointing to really not hear it being talked much about. I feel like with environmental issues on the political arena, that pretty much every other issue comes first and foremost. And although I can see the importance of issues such as the economy or education, things like that, those are definitely important issues that need to be talked about. I am disappointed that with all of the racial tensions and conversations that we've been having over the past 10 years, that climate change and the way that the United States protects its citizens from the effects of the environment has not really been discussed in the political eye at all. And maybe I'll make a video on that later. Sorry, I kind of got off on a little bit of a rant. As you can see, I'm pretty passionate about this subject, so I'm just gonna go into a little bit more just about me, about my family, about some things that are important to me, and then just about my sustainability journey so far. So I'll just start off by telling you about my family. I am the oldest of 4, so I have a little sister who's about 2 years younger than I am, and then I have 2 little brothers who are 10 and 8. So there's a pretty big age gap. I'm 20 years old between my youngest siblings and I, but I love them to death, and they're by far the best part of my life. I am a junior in college this year. I attend Clemson University, and I love it there. I'm a health science major, so I eventually want to go into pediatric physical therapy to help kids with special needs just heal from injuries or other afflictions that they might have. Another important thing to mention, since we're on the topic of colleges, I love sports, and I am an Alabama Crimson Tide fan. Roll Tide all the way. I have been ever since I was born. My dad is actually from Alabama, so we have been fans ever since the beginning. So thinking about my family right now and my future family that I'm hoping to have one day, that's a big part of what makes me passionate about the subject of the environment, because I really want future generations to be able to see the same beautiful earth that I have gotten the privilege to see, and to not have it be affected by pollution or climate change. So that's really a big factor into what plays into my passion for sustainability. But the most important thing about me is that I'm a Christian, and I believe in Jesus and the Bible and what it says, and that is by far the most important factor into why I think that caring for the environment is so important. And like I said, I'll follow that up with another video later this week to just explain that line of thinking a little bit more, because it can be confusing sometimes considering the political climate in the United States, how a Christian can think that the environment's so important, but I'll make another video on that explaining that later. So now I'll just talk for a little bit about some of the ways that I'm implementing sustainability and those sorts of practices in my life, and just some resources that have inspired me, and I'll give you guys links to that. So I am currently on a sustainability journey and trying to limit my waste. That is 100% the biggest thing that I'm doing in regards to the environment right now in my personal life. There are several different ways that an individual can limit their waste production. The three main ones are going to be composting and recycling, and then limiting your single-use items and plastic items, and also repurposing and reusing items that you already own. So as far as composting goes, that's not really a feasible practice that I can do right now in the stage of life that I'm in. I am a college student and I live in an apartment with roommates, so we don't have a yard and we don't really have the resources to be able to compost. Although I wouldn't mind getting a compost bin for our apartment, I don't want to have to put them through that because it can get a little stinky. So that's not really a practice that's very feasible in my life right now. I am planning to implement that as soon as I get my own house, my own yard, to start a compost bin and have that be the main way that I get rid of food scrap waste. But depending on what area you're in and what state you're in, there are certain programs that you can look into if you're a college student and you don't have land or yard to be able to compost yourself, where you can donate your food scraps to certain local farmers or businesses that can turn it into compost for you. So depending on what state you're in, that can be a feasible option for you. Sadly, I don't really have any programs like that near me, but yes, hopefully that is something that I can implement in my life in the future. However, I do recycle, and that is very important. I think that that's one of the easiest ways that you can begin a sustainability journey, is just by recycling your products. Although recycling in America isn't a perfect practice, not everything that gets recycled actually ends up being recycled. A lot of it ends up in the landfill anyway, but it can make your conscience feel a little bit better, and you probably actually will be helping out the environment at least a little bit through doing that. So I don't have a recycling pickup that comes like with the trash pickup where I live at college, but I do have a local recycling center at my university that I take my recycling to. It's a small inconvenience. It's about 5 minutes out of my time weekly, I would say, but it's definitely worth it, and it's definitely a practice that I would recommend all of you guys start doing. So the next thing that I think is super important as a consumer in a disposable culture like we have in America today, which is limiting single-use products. So just because of the nature of the American economy, which is capitalist and just thrives off of making as much money as possible, Many of the things that we buy are disposable and they are wrapped in plastic. So just some common things I can think of off the top of my head would be toothpaste, floss, razors, basically any bathroom product, most cleaning products, things like plastic straws, paper products, things like that are very common in our society, and they are all single-use and disposable, which is a travesty. So this is an issue that I've become more educated about and aware of, I would say, over the last 2 years, and it's definitely something that I'm trying to fix with the use of single-use products and plastic products in my personal life now. So in the comment section, I'll leave a bunch of different products that I love that are plastic alternatives, but I'm gonna name a few in this video that I absolutely love just to hopefully get you guys excited about it. So the first product is my leaf razor. I love this razor. It's gonna last me the rest of my life, so instead of having to go and buy a pack of razors every 2 or 3 months, for $6, I spent $60 on one razor, and it's gonna last me the rest of my life. It's a metal razor, which used to be a lot more dangerous, but the way that they have made this razor, it's just very safe, very clean. And they even have a give back program where you can send back all of your old used blades and they will send you replacements, which I think is super awesome and responsible because it can be dangerous to get rid of those metal blades. Another company that I really love is Blueland. I don't know if you guys have maybe seen them on Shark Tank or heard about them, but they provide cleaning products that are basically come in little capsules and they're refillable, and then they send you glass spray jars. So instead of having to buy plastic Windex or other plastic cleaning products, you just buy refillables and they send it to you. I really love this company because they are really committed to helping get plastics out of oceans, which is another really important topic. Maybe I'll make a video on that later too. But it's a really great company and they have a really great reason for creating the products that they do, and they're passionate about the environment as well. So definitely check them out too. And then the last category, which I am personally trying to improve on in my life, is repurposing and reusing old items. So the idea behind that is just basically whenever you break an item or you need something new, you try and find a creative way to use something that you already have instead of going out and buying something. So this is an area I'm trying to improve on. I'm not the most creative, but I am good at research. So I like to research creative ways to use things that I already have whenever I run out of things or how to fix things that I've broken. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will be making a new one in the next couple days, so watch out for that.